Hi, I'm Christine Yount-Jones with Children's Ministry Magazine, and you are watching the Children's Ministry Podcast. And there's one thing when we ask people, ask volunteers, Sunday school teachers, any kind of program leader, what is your number one challenge? You already know what they say. Discipline. How do I create an environment where it's not so distracting or kids aren't getting hurt or how do I create an environment where I'm not so frustrated and I'm having fun and the kids are having fun? So that's why we came up with the Quick Guide to Discipline for Children's Ministry. Take a look at this cover. It's just hilarious. But it's 101 good ideas for bad behavior because you need 101 solutions. Listen to some of the things that it covers. Obviously, we're going to cover attention deficit hyperactive disorder, anger, attention span, bullying, distractions. What do you do with gossip? Latecomers. What about manners? What about when kids don't have manners? What do you do? What about those pesky parents? What about peeking? I wonder what that is. That piques my curiosity. What about restlessness or rule challenges, sarcasm, tattling? Oh my goodness, tattling. I'd like to figure that one out when in my parenting. What do I do when kids are tattling on each other? Time out. What about toy boundaries? Visitor demands. What do you do with a visitor who's making some demands? Wild kids outside of class. That's interesting. When you're walking down the hallway and there are kids that are wild and you're not responsible for them, how are you going to handle that without getting in trouble with those pesky parents, right? Worship or withdrawn kids, all the way to, you didn't think we could do it, but we did it. XYZ, it's A to Z, xenophobic behavior, yelling, and zero problems. Okay, so let's give it a try. I didn't plan this ahead of time because I want to see, is it as good as we say it is? So let's just say that you're dealing with a problem. I won't even choose it. I'm just going to flip it open. And we come to, what is this? Finished first. What do you do with a kid who is so sharp, maybe has been in Sunday school for a long time, and they're finished first? What are you going to do? So here's the question that we pose to our experts. Some of my kids finish their projects early and then bug others who are still working. How do I keep everyone working at the same pace? Okay, that's the question. Here's the answer. One way to sidestep this problem is to offer choices for speedier children. For example, if a child finishes a drawing early, he or she can make a construction paper frame for the picture or add stickers that relate to the theme. Great idea, isn't it? With younger children, offering multiple activity stations is a great way to keep kids engaged. Stations can feature art projects, pretend play, games, all focusing on the same Bible point. When a child finishes a project or a game, he or she can move to another learning station. Okay, so here's the other piece that you get in this. Oh, good, there is an expert tip. You get the do's and don'ts. So do have kids who finish early use their projects to retell the story or Bible point to you. Do keep a basket of special craft supplies, games, puzzles that kids who finished can work with when they're finished early. Do occasionally give free time to all the kids so everyone gets to enjoy unstructured activity. You know, the beauty of that is they build friendships, and you want them to build relationships that are lasting at church. Okay, here are the 3 don'ts. Don't expect kids to work at the same pace. We're all different. And maybe one child is so engaged that they don't want to move fast. So don't expect kids to work at the same pace. I love this one because to me, in all honesty, this is what I would have said as an answer, but the experts say no, it's not. Don't give kids more work to do if they finish early. Instead, give them something creative that still challenges them. Now, isn't that interesting? Don't give the kids, here's a worksheet you can do. Or why don't you look up these verses, unless that's fun to them, and for some kids that would be. But then it almost becomes a punishment because they finished early if we give them work. I thought that was a great tip. Don't fill kids' spare time with busy work that adds no value to what they've learned. We don't want to fill up. Our time is so precious with the kids that we have that we don't want to fill up their time with busy work just because they're fast or for any other reason. Okay, here's the cool thing. And there are expert tips, there are genius tactics, there are decoders, different things that appear every now and then. And here's the expert tip. for when you have kids finishing early. Okay, expert tip. Set aside one bulletin board that kids can decorate each week when they finish. Let them use photos from home, drawings, magazine photos, and other items to decorate the board in an ongoing project that celebrates blessings in kids' lives. Isn't that great? So you have something fun, you have something that they're building, they're investing themselves in. I remember in a Sunday school class that was just, you guys know, it was just 4 walls and like folding chairs and no creativity, no interest. And excuse me, so when I said, I brought in decorative items and I said, we're gonna make this room ours. Those kids were so motivated. And that's what I feel like that expert tip gets into that same motivation that let's make this ours. Let's invest ourselves in this so that when we come to the classroom, we say, this is a place for me. I belong here because this belongs to me. I helped build this. Anyway, I'm just telling you, I highly recommend. It's a small book. I apologize to you that I don't know how much it is, but we'll give you a link at the end so that you can find out. But seriously, get this in the hands of every volunteer in your ministry because you don't want to lose people because they weren't equipped. There are such easy solutions, 101 solutions from A to Z. And I'll tell you, this discipline is not my forte. I struggle with it. So I love it when somebody who really gets practical solutions gives me something in my hands that I can be successful because I really do love teaching kids. I just don't like dealing with the problems. And I'm sure you feel the same. So anyway, pick up the discipline guide, the quick guide to discipline for children's ministry, and you'll get 100 good ideas for bad behavior. And we're going to give you a link at the end that you can find more about the book. But thanks today for listening to the Children's Ministry Podcast. I appreciate you guys dropping by.